So huge congrats, at least for me, to LeBron James, who became the youngest player in NBA history to reach 30,000 career points, but the struggles continued, as Stephen A. just alluded to. They've lost their 10th, of 13 games. After the game, head coach Ty Lue saying he's going to make changes to his lineup. Max, this is where we defer to you. What should those changes be?
Well, if you're talking about the roster itself, there is an obvious trade that can be made. We don't have to do mental gymnastics to figure this one out, right? Kemba Walker is available. It's been widely reported because the Hornets want to use him to get out of a contract that they don't like. For example, Nicholas Batum's contract. Batum got paid, and since he got paid, he isn't playing well. Never put up huge numbers, but he's an excellent two-way player when motivated. So you have Isaiah Thomas's expiring deal. Isaiah just got there. There's discord there, maybe with Dwayne Wade. Who else? No, who knows who else? You have an expiring contract. You have Crowder. I'm sure that that's already been explored, but Cleveland wants to hold on to that Brooklyn pick. If I were Cleveland, I would not include the Brooklyn pick, but you could give the Hornets real relief and some pieces they might like that are less expensive than what they have now. And if you can get Kemba Walker, even if that means taking Batum, who actually would help the Cavs right now, that is the obvious move to make. You'd have a guy in Kemba who approximates Kyrie probably better than Isaiah.
Sorry, I missed you. You're saying what? You would trade for Kemba?
Yes.
I'm saying who?
Isaiah Thomas's expiring deal.
Okay.
Crowder, who has not been playing well for the Cavs. Maybe one or two other less expensive pieces that they like. Maybe a second-round pick or something like that. But you can work out a deal where you give the Hornets some relief from the Batum contract or from a contract like that where, in fact, the second player would also help the Cavs. That is the most obvious, straightforward thing they can do if they plan on making changes to the roster. Let me say, I don't think they need to make changes to get out of the East. But if they're going to do it, no reason to torture ourselves. Kemba Walker's available. He approximates Kyrie even more closely than Isaiah. That's the guy you should go get.
Well, it's cute that you brought that up. It's not bad, Max. It's not bad, but it ain't going to happen. Number one, because evidently you don't know Michael Jordan. Isaiah Thomas at 5'9" is looking for $175 to $200 million. And you think that Michael Jordan's going to trade for him?
Let him walk at the end of the season.
And I'm just saying he's not going to do, you can let him walk at the end of the season. But then for losing Kemba Walker, what you have is Jamie Crowder and Lord knows what else.
Second-round pick.
You can't do that because Kemba Walker can ball. Make no mistake about that. But let's get down to the brass tacks of all of this. If you are the Cleveland Cavaliers, there's one thing that I would do that's going to be futile, Max, but I would do it anyway if I were Dan Gilbert. And the second option would be to trade Kevin Love. My first option would be, if I'm Dan Gilbert, to go to LeBron James and ask him to waive his no-trade clause so I can move him because I could get the house for LeBron James. LeBron James will never waive his no-trade clause for Dan Gilbert and the Cleveland Cavaliers. He would never want himself associated with such a move where you're going to sit up there and give Dan Gilbert a reprieve by allowing yourself to waive your no-trade clause.
Why waive it?
Excuse me?
Why waive it? Why not just say, here are the teams that I would agree to be traded to?
No, because LeBron would want to go to another team that's already loaded, but you have to give up what you're loaded with to get LeBron. So he wouldn't capitulate to that. There's no way. He'll wait until he's a free agent and he can go and join whoever he wants to, and they wouldn't have to give up anything to get him. So that would never happen. But Gilbert would look good because if LeBron ends up leaving, he says, see, I tried to get something for him, and you saw how he capitulated. He doesn't care about us. He left us in the dust just like he did back in 2010. That's going to be Gilbert's position. But I would still try. Of course it won't. Of course it won't work. But that's what he's going to. That's what he might try. Because you never know with Gilbert. I mean, him and LeBron, the relationship is not good. You never know with him. Can't underestimate that. The obvious commodity that you have outside of LeBron James is Kevin Love. Phoenix wanted Kevin Love last year. New Orleans was interested in Kevin Love. The Knicks were interested, not as interested as they should have been, but they were interested in Kevin Love. There's a whole bunch of people in the National Basketball Association that wants a 6'9", 6'10" shooter who can rebound, who also happens to be a very nice guy who happens to be white. That certainly helps in terms of marketability, okay? So Kevin Love is a commodity in that regard. That's who you need to look to move in. Here's the biggest reason why, Max. Let's just call it what it is. The Cleveland Cavaliers are soft. They look soft as cottonelle tissue. I mean, did you see them last night? I mean, they look lifeless. They look lethargic. They don't look interested. They're getting straight punked on a night-in, night-out basis. They instill fear in no one. absolutely positively no one. And LeBron almost looks resigned to the fact that, you know what, we ain't going anywhere. Let me just make sure I do my job so nobody can look at me and say I'm not doing my job. And I'm not saying that as a negative. I understand that mentality. At some point in time, you can't play defense for the other 4 dudes. You can't feed J.R. Smith wide open threes and watch him brick them. You can't sit up there and get the ball to Isaiah Thomas and he goes into the paint at 5'9" and jumping up in the air, turning the ball over. You can't do everything for everybody. So at some point, LeBron's going to be like, I just got it. All I could do is my job, and that's what
I understand why you would say waive the no-trade clause, because then Gilbert looks good. But the bottom line,
I'm not saying LeBron should do it.
Right, right.
That's what Gilbert
Why Gilbert would. But the bottom line is Dan Gilbert, and this goes for all. Either you get it done or you don't get it done.